Namaste my friends, welcome to YogaCandi. My name's Candice and today I have a strong beginner to intermediate flow. If you're a total beginner, I do recommend you maybe look at doing a different heart opening or back bending flow. But of course, if you are a total beginner, you can join in. Just please take the modified versions and don't push your body. Listen to it. If you feel any pain, then you know that you've gone too far. So just make sure that you are taking the beginner modifications. Today is a heart opening yoga flow, so we're going to be focusing on poses like Wild Thing. We're going to be opening up the chest, the shoulders to help with shoulder and spinal flexibility. So our peak pose today is going to be wheel. If wheel is not in your practice just yet, even as a strong beginner or an intermediate practitioner, then I recommend skipping wheel and maybe doing something like bridge until you get to a point where your spine is ready for that, because it is quite intense. So please guys, please listen to your bodies. That's all I'm asking of you today. Okay, so we're going to begin. There's no need for any props, just make sure that you're nice and comfortable, you're wearing something flexy. And we're going to begin in a wide-legged child's pose. So take your knees as wide as your mat, big toes together. Take your bum down to your heels and extend the arms out long in front of you. We're going to begin here, starting to tune into the inner body before we even begin. Start off just breathing nice and naturally. And then start to deepen your inhales and your exhales. If you understand Ujjayi breath, then now's the time to engage your Ujjayi breath and continue it throughout the flow. If you don't understand Ujjayi, just stick with a nice deep inhale and exhale out of the nostrils the whole way through the flow. On every exhale, draw up through the pelvic bowl, lifting the core up towards the spine. Now walk your hands over to the left side of the mat, stretching out that right side of the body. And then walk your hands back to center and over towards the right side of the mat, stretching out the left side body. And back to center. Now walk your hands forward. We're going to bring our knees underneath our hips, hands underneath our shoulders in our tabletop. Let's take some cat-cows. As you inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, arch. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch. Inhaling, dropping the belly. Exhaling, arching. Take a couple more. And now walk your hands forward for our puppy pose. So extend the arms out long and bring your forehead down to the ground. If you have quite a flexy spine and shoulders, you can even take your chest and chin all the way down to the ground, just making sure to keeping the knees stacked with the hips. And back up to tabletop. Let's take some rolls with the hips. So just circle the hips in one direction. And then in the other. Then we're going to extend our legs out long, our arms out long, and we're going to come in for our downward facing dog. So take your time getting in your dog and just start to walk the legs to warm up these hamstrings. Really extend through the spine, so you're sending your tailbone to the sky. You're pulling your shoulder blades apart, so you're externally rotating the shoulders. And don't worry if your heels are not touching the ground. Suck in through the belly, taking that navel towards the spine. And when you're ready, become still. We're going to hold our dog for 3 nice deep breaths. Look between the legs, and you can always close your eyes here, enjoying each sensation. Now roll forward to plank, just really arching the spine, rolling vertebrae by vertebrae. Hold your plank nice and strong, zip the legs together, suck up through the core. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, exhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. We're going to do that one more time. Exhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. From here, take a really slow walk to the front of the mat, keeping the legs as straight as you can for as long as you can. Of course, if you need to bend the knees, feel free to do that. And we're going to hold on to each elbow, just hanging nice and heavy. For a few deep breaths here. Inhale, halfway lift to look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way to standing. Hands touch above the head, look up. And exhale to the side body. Now take your hands to your sacrum, which is this harder bit just between the hip bones, or you can even take them just to the hips. Just make sure you're not placing any pressure into the lower spine. We're going to take a gentle back bend, so have the fingertips facing up towards the sky if you've got the flexibility. Otherwise, just hold on to the hips. Suck in the belly, and we're going to bend backwards, looking up to the sky. Take it as deep as you want to. Just pushing those hips away from the spine. Look up. And back to standing. Now interlace the fingers behind the spine, and we're going to exhale, fold forward from the hips, allowing the hands to fall up and over the head. The closer your palms are together, the more intense the shoulder stretch will be. So if you want to, you can always allow those palms to fall open. You can even flip the palms so the palms are facing away from the body. This is even more intense. And release the grip. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into a strong plank. Exhale, down chaturanga. Inhale for baby cobra, full cobra, or meet me in upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment in down dog. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Inhale the right leg to the sky. Open up through that hip, but keep your shoulders squared with the front of the mat. So it's just the hip that's being rotated. So you're rotating from the mid to upper spine. Just hold this for a moment and then exhale the knee to the chest in a plank and step forward. We're coming up into a high lunge, so frame the front foot. Inhale, hands to the sky, look up. Exhale, step forward using the power of the front leg. And just take a moment here, you can roll your neck out. And once again, we're taking our hands to the hips or to that hard bit, the sacrum. And we're going to take our back bend here. So inhale, lift the chest to the sky, bend from the hips. So you're bending the hips forwards. Take a deep inhale. And come up to standing. Inhale the hands above the head, look up. And interlace the hands behind the spine, back in for our forward fold. Allowing the hands to fall up and over the head. Play around with perhaps turning the hands so that the palms are facing outwards. Play around with drawing the knuckles together, the palms together, getting a little deeper. And then release the grip. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Nice strong plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Once you're in your dog, become still, take a few nice deep breaths, extending that spine, making it nice and long. Now inhale, lift this left leg to the sky. Hold it up there for a moment, keep the shoulders squared. And start to rotate from mid to upper spine, sending that foot up and over into a nice hip opener here. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then exhale, draw that knee to your chest, step forward between the hands. Coming in for our high lunge, keep the legs nice and strong. Inhale, raise the hands above the head, look up. Exhale, step forward with the power of the front leg. Back in for our mountain. Take a moment in mountain, hands by the sides of the body. From here you can rotate the neck. And back to center. We're going to take that back bend again, taking our hands to our hips or to the sacrum. Start to push the hips forward, lean back. Only go as far as you want to go. And come on back to standing. Inhale the hands above the head, look up. Interlace the hands behind the spine once again. This is our last one. Bending forward from the hips. Allow the arms to fall up and over the head. You can bend the knees as much as needed and play around with those hands. Feeding through this beautiful shoulder opener. Now release the interlace. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step back into a nice strong plank. Hold your plank just for a moment. Exhale down. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog, totally your choice. And exhale, meet me in downward facing dog. Give your dog a little walk and then become still when you're ready. Take 3 deep breaths here. You can always walk your feet a little further behind you, and we're going to roll forward into a plank once again. Draw your feet together. And we're going to roll over into a side plank. Inhaling this left arm up into the sky. Look up. Hold your nice strong plank. You can keep your feet stacked or you can keep them both on the ground. From here we're going to lift the top leg and step it lightly behind us. You can stay here or you can start to direct the chest up to the sky. Extending out long through the left hand, opening through the chest, pushing the chest towards the sky. In for a wild thing. Hold this just for a couple of breaths. And then gently rotate back forwards and come back into a plank. Exhale all the way to the belly. Inhale, full cobra or baby cobra. Exhale the bum back towards the feet. And let's take a little child's pose before we begin that on the other side. From here, let's make our way forward. We're going to come back into our plank pose. So come onto your hands nice and firmly, feet zipped together, lift up through the tailbone, tucking the tailbone. Hold it just for a breath. And then rotate over onto the left side body, coming in, back into our side plank. Inhaling the right arm to the sky, look up. Now lift the top leg and step it lightly behind you. You can just stay here, no need for the back bend, especially if you're a beginner. Otherwise, start to rotate the hips and extend the heart up towards the sky, extending through this right arm. Allow the neck to hang heavy. Take one more breath. And very slowly make your way back into a side plank and then down into a plank. Exhale all the way to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra or full cobra. Exhale down and send your hips back for another child's pose. You can keep your arms extended out long or take them alongside the body. From here, come up onto your knees. And we're going to take rabbit pose just to counteract those back bends we've done with Wild Thing. So tuck the toes and you can hold onto the arches of the feet or onto the heels. And we're going to take our head down to the ground. Take the crown of the head as close to the knees as possible. But don't place much weight at all on the crown of the head. But you're holding onto the back of the feet for a lovely arch of the spine. Lifting the tailbone up to the sky, opening up through those shoulders. Take a couple of deep breaths. And release. Now let's extend our legs out long in front of us. We're going to be doing our final peak pose in a minute. But we're going to start off with some bridge. So bring your knees close towards your bum. Knees should be hip distance apart. Extend your arms out long and slowly make your way all the way down onto your spine. Just take a moment here. Find your placement with your feet. If you extend your arms out long, you should be able to just about touch the heels. Then you're in the right position. In our bridge pose, we want to keep our knees in line with our hips at all times. So when you're up in bridge, don't allow the knees to fall open or to collapse towards each other. Keep the legs engaged and lift up through the pelvic bowl. So you'll be lifting the chest and the hips up to the sky. On an inhale, we're going to lift the bum off the ground, sending that pubic bone up to the sky, sending our chest towards the sky. You can interlace your hands behind your spine, allowing those arms to push yourself a little deeper into this back bend. Take one more deep breath. And on your exhale, very slowly roll the spine all the way down to the ground. Release out the mouth. We're going to do that one more time before taking our wheel pose. And beginners, please don't do wheel. Instead, stick with bridge. You can always take one more bridge while we do wheel until your body's ready. So now on an inhale, we're going to lift the hips up to the sky. Keep those knees drawing together, hip distance apart. Chest up towards the sky, belly towards the sky. Take a couple of deep breaths. Interlacing the hands behind the spine if you would like to. Release the interlace, and on an exhale, very slowly roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Before we do wheel, let's all hug our knees towards the armpits. So open up through the knees, drawing those knees towards the armpits. And then draw the knees together, hugging them in towards the chest. Beginners, you're welcome to just stay here, maybe take a happy baby, maybe just relax, perhaps even meditate. Or you can take another bridge. But for those of you that are ready and perhaps have done wheel a few times and you feel comfortable in it, our knees, our legs are going to be in the same position as they were in bridge. So our feet are hip distance apart. Our hands are going to be placed next to where our ears are. We're going to have our hands sort of in line with our shoulders, pointing those elbows up towards the sky. On an inhale, you're going to come up onto the crown of the head. So you're lifting the torso and the hips up to the sky, coming up onto the crown before you go into full wheel. So let's inhale, lift up onto the crown. You may just want to stay here, or you can inhale, lifting the whole body up into this back bend, opening through the heart. Try not to put all the back bend into the lower body, into the lower back. You're lifting your chest to the sky. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Allow your head to hang heavy. And then exhale, drawing the elbows together very, very slowly. Bring your body all the way down, back onto the crown of the head. And then extend the head out and send your hips all the way down to the ground. Let's hug our knees up towards our armpits. And then draw them together, hugging them towards the belly. As a counter pose, we're going to be doing plow pose. For those of you that have never done plow, I would rather you watch me get into plow and then attempt it yourself. Because plow is one of those poses we don't want to move our necks in. We want to keep our neck completely static. You just want to look straight up towards the sky. So once again, feet hip distance apart. We're going to start to lift the hips, tucking the shoulder blades underneath the body. So remember to watch me if you need to. Take your hands, sorry, I'm going to have to move my mic a second. Perhaps I can put it on the front there. Take your hands to the lower back. Now we're going to lift our legs up to the sky. And you can use your hands just to hold you here in a shoulder stand. Or you can start to bend the legs. And we're going to start to extend the legs out long behind us, taking the feet down to the ground. Interlacing the fingers, keeping them down flat against the ground, sending that tailbone up towards the sky. You can have your legs really straight, or you can bend them if needed. Just make sure there's no pain in the neck or in the shoulders or in the spine anywhere. If there is, you need to slowly come out of it. Just hold your plow for a couple of deep breaths. And then very slowly, you can bend the legs or you can go with them straight. You're going to release the interlace of the fingers And start to very slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, draw your legs up towards the sky, taking your spine down to the ground. And from here, we're going to take a couple of spinal twists. So open your arms out long to the sides of you in a T. Send your hips over towards the right side of the mat. You're going to take the right leg on top of the left, lacing them once or twice. And we're going to send the knees over towards the left side of the mat. Take your gaze towards the right fingertips and then close your eyes and just enjoy this twist. Make sure you're not twisting from the lumbar, the lower spine, and that you're twisting from the mid to upper back. So just from the thoracic spine. Enjoy some deep breaths here. Tuning back into the body. Allow all your thoughts to pass. From here, inhale your knees back to the center, lifting them up. Release the grip of the legs and send the hips over towards the left side of the mat. Taking that left leg, wrapping it once or twice over the right. And drop the knees towards the right side of the mat. Now take your gaze towards the left fingertips and then close your eyes. Remembering to twist from the upper back. Give into gravity here and just enjoy this moment. On your next exhale, lift the knees back to the center. Let's release the grip of the legs, extending the legs out long, taking them wider than hip distance apart. Take the hands a couple of inches away from the body, extending them out long. Coming in for our final resting pose, Savasana. Palms are facing up towards the sky. Keep your eyes closed. Tuck your shoulder blades under the body. I'm not going to be here for very long with you, but you're more than welcome to stay as long as you like. Just remembering to allow your body to sink into the ground. If any thoughts come into your mind, allow them to pass. This is a moment for you. A moment for what you've just practiced to sink in and to repair your body. Allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. And listen to that rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and out. This is where I leave you, my friends. Remember, you can continue to enjoy this moment. I hope you've enjoyed today's class. If you have, give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with others. And feel free to leave me a comment to let me know how you got on. Until next time, everybody. Namaste.